In the previous tutorial video, we showed you how to join data together from various sources to add this new column on our world GDP layer called 2011 GDP. In this video, we're going to show you how to style the map similar to what this screenshot shows, to where we have a different color for each country based upon its GDP value. So to get started, you can see we've got our world GDP layer here, and we've currently just got it rendered in a very ugly pinkish color, and we want to change this to give the map more life by doing a class break style on the GDP ranges. So to do this, let's go ahead and double click on the color swatch over here, and this will bring up the style builder. Now we no longer need this pink style, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete that, and then I'm going to add a new style which is called a class break style. And this allows you to build different styles based upon ranges of values in your attribute data. So for example, we can color all the countries that have a GDP between 75,000 and 100,000 green, and 50 to 75,000 red, etc. So we're going to go ahead and give this a name of GDP per capita. And next I'm going to choose the column name I want to base this style on. So in this case we're going to use the new column name we created in the previous video, 2011 GDP. And you can either create your ranges or class breaks manually by clicking the Add New, or the Auto Generate by clicking the Auto Generate button. In this case I'm a little lazy, so I'm going to click the Auto Generate button so I don't have to do all the work manually. I'm going to be prompted with this dialog where I can choose how many different classes I want. In this case, I think I'm going to do 10 different classes, and I'm going to want my lowest value to be, let's say, 1, up to the highest value of 75,000. So, and then I'm going to choose my colors. So I want the high GDP countries to be in green and the low GDP countries to be in red. So I generate these classes, and now you can see the grid's been populated with each of the 10 different breaks. And now I'm going to come in and modify these a little bit to give them more meaningful names. So here I'm going to say GDP greater than 75,000. Okay. Now my next break, I really didn't like what the auto-generate created for me, so I'm going to say 50,000 here, and for this one I'm going to say 25,000, and for this one I'm going to say 15,000, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to just go through these real quick and update them to the ranges I want for my requirements. And I'm actually just going to put 0 here. Now the way the class break works is it's going to show anything above that value in that color. So let's just label these as well. I'm just going to pause the video while I finish these. Now that I've got all the labels set properly for each of my class breaks, I can go ahead and hit apply, and you will see that I've got everything added to the map, and we've got a nice color here. So just by doing that simple class break, we've colored each of the countries based upon their GDP value. Now you can expand over here in the layer list and you can see each of these class breaks, and if you don't like one of the colors you can easily just click on one of them and it will take you straight to that color where you can edit it. Now you may be asking, do I really need to label all of these? And it's completely up to you. I do, because we're going to build a legend earlier or later on in the tutorial, and so you can either build it now, because this will transfer over to the legend a little bit later, which is kind of nice. So that's our first part, is we've got our countries colored accordingly. Now there's some other things I don't like about this map currently, such as you can see we've got a white background and the ocean is typically blue. Now I don't have a shapefile that has my ocean boundaries that match up with my countries exactly. So in order to get around this, I'm going to just set the canvas background color to a light blue here to give it a look of the ocean, and I think this gives the map a lot better look and feel. Additionally, all the countries that have a value of 0, I probably don't really want to show red, because Antarctica isn't really a depressed place or a place where there's low GDP, because nobody lives there. So in addition, I'm going to add a new style and color all the countries that have 0 in a gray color. So to do that, I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to add a new style to it. So I'm just going to double click on this, and it's going to bring back up the style builder, and I'm going to collapse this GDP per capita, and I'm going to add a new filter style, and I'm actually going to drag this down, or no, I'm going to leave it on top so it draws on top of my GDP per capita. And I'm then going to choose gray, and I'm going to say no data for my name here. Now when you do a filter style, you just need to set the conditions of when you want these this to be displayed. So I'm going to add my new condition here, and I'm going to say the 2011 GDP is equal to 0. I'm going to save that, and I'm going to change this name to no data as well. And now you can see the map even looks a little bit better, because we got places like Greenland and Antarctica that are in gray. We also have a few other countries around the world that must not report their GDP, such as Libya and a few others. So this gives me a better representation of what the data is actually reflecting here. So just with a few simple steps, you can see how we created our class break style to color each of the countries based upon its GDP value. We used a filter style to show the countries that don't have any data, or data equal to 0, because we want to highlight them as not particularly being valid for this data set. And then finally we showed you how to make a background color a blue, so you give the effect of an ocean. So in our next video we're going to start adding some labels to the map, and this will we're going to add the country label and also the GDP value and format it for $signs. So if you're interested on how to add labeling, please watch the next video. Thanks a lot.